So it's 9:30 this Wednesday morning. On Monday morning at 2:55 a.m, David Murnahan, Blair Clinton and Stephen Murphy, three mates, took to the sea and began their swim across the North Channel to raise money for the RNLI. They completed a swim relay from Donaghadee in County Down to Portpatrick in Scotland in just over 13 hours. The route is part of the Ocean 7 Sea Swimming Marathons and is known for being one of the most challenging due to the freezing waters and the wildlife that will be encountered along the route. And I'm delighted to say David joins us now, having completed the challenge. If you want to donate, by the way, you can help raise funds for the RNLI, who do such amazing work for people right around our coasts. Check out the Just Giving page, which is David Murnahan and Friends Swim for Dunmore RNLI. You can search that, RNLI David Murnahan, and you should get it. David, good morning to you. How are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm a little jaded after the trip yesterday, but I think it's just total relief and thrilled to have achieved the whole thing along with Blair and Stephen. I don't think if I had any idea what it was really going to be like, if I had any idea, I don't know if I'd have done it. But yeah, just glad to have got there.
So tell us about the wildlife. That was the bit that I was like, hang on a second now, what?
Yeah. Well, initially, actually, we set off at 5 to 3 in the morning, so it was pitch black. And at one stage, the spotters, we had some crew with us, keeping an eye on us. And Mark shone his light over on me, and two dolphins jumped within apparently a metre of me.
Wow.
And I had no idea until I get out of the water, and they're like, "Whoa, did you see the dolphins?" I was like, "No." They're like, "Yeah, they were literally nearly touching you." And then that was the nice part of the wildlife. And then the not so nice was the lion's mane jellyfish, which the North Channel is infamous for. And there were pockets of literally hundreds of lion's mane jellyfish. And I learned what you call a group of jellyfish is smack. And there's a reason for it, because you do feel like you've just been smacked. But yeah. Now, that was one of the biggest fears I had, was the jellyfish. And at one stage, I felt like I was just surrounded by them, and that was not nice. I was swimming towards Wales instead of Scotland. The skipper had to get very serious with me and give out to me and tell me to toughen up and keep going. So come back to Scotland.
Did you get stung?
Yeah. Well, I got a couple of stings. One not nice one. The rest weren't too bad. And outside of that, I danced around the jellyfish and tried to hover as highly above them as I could. But at times you just had to keep going.
Right.
But yeah, it wasn't fun, that part.
What's it actually?
It's all part of the experience.
Well, exactly. So what's it actually like on the boat then, when you're getting in and out, and I guess I was going to say the nice bit, the bit where you're doing the thing is like, you know, you're at your kind of, your adrenaline is pumping the most when you're actually in the water, and then you get out of the water and you feel good for a little while, and then your body starts to freeze up and you're like, oh my God, I've got to do this again.
Yeah. That's mentally very, very tough, especially when you first get out. You just have uncontrollable shivers. So you need your other people around you to sort of dress you and give you hot water bottles. And I suppose it's much nicer doing it now than it would have been 20 years ago out in the sea. And like, still, whenever you're walking about, you're nearly swaying side to side. But yeah, then mentally getting yourself back at it. Because at one stage we expected to take about 15 to 16 hours. So we had it in our head to go in 5 times. But then we were going really well at the start, and we thought, geez, we might get away with only getting in 4 times. But then when it came to 3/4, we're like, no, we're going to have to do it 5 times, and just mentally going, I have to do this again. I really don't want to do this again, but I'm going to have to do it again. Yeah, it was tough. We were looking at each other's eyes going, seriously, can we swim any harder? And like, all of us were giving everything we had. But yeah, no, it was super. It's so, as well, because you're depending on the tides, and they can just push you one way or the next, and there's only so much you can do yourself. So the skipper, Park Ballon from Infinity, was super. He looked after us really, really well. So I definitely recommend them if anyone wants to do a challenge like it.
David, can I just get a word maybe on why you chose the RNLI? Because I know swimming is a life-saving skill, as a lot of people say, and sadly in this country, when the sun comes out, there are inevitably drownings across the country that happen. But it's a crucial life-saving skill. And look, the RNLI shout that from the rooftops. And maybe just a word on why you chose the RNLI as the charity of choice.
Yeah, well, ultimately, in a way, our story was couched to channel. So Blair Clinton, one of the other swimmers, he has a coffee shop in Navan, Chekhov's, that I go to, and it was his idea. He's done lots of endurance events before, but he had never done a swimming event. And he says, look, let's go, we'll swim the channel. And I was like, no, because I can swim. I knew that's crazy. Why would you do something like that? But between us, we then started doing the swimming, and you saw how much sea dipping and sea swimming is getting so popular in Ireland now. And there's so many people going out there to try and clear their heads and good for mental health. But actually, the place is really, really dangerous. And it is the Coast Guard and the RNLI that keep us all safe. And I felt, you know what, they're going to be very, very busy this year, next year, and hopefully for years. Well, hopefully they don't have to be too busy, but hopefully there are going to be more and more people utilising the sea that they did over COVID for future years. And the RNLI, I thought, just are going to need an awful lot more support. She said the ones that keep us safe.
Would you do it again?
If you knew now what you knew then. I'm thrilled and delighted I did it. I'd imagine the likes of Blair would, because he's a bit crazy. The likes of me, probably another thing. I'm quite happy to have done it. But yeah, it's early days. One of my daughters said to me, right, Daddy, now you've done that, I think you should run the Wall of China. I was like, no, I think I'll just be quite happy to spend some time with the kids.
You must be in the shape of your life though, right?
Yeah, definitely, but that mightn't have been too hard for me to improve from where I was. But yeah, Stephen Murphy, the other team member, and I played water polo since we were 12 together. But I hadn't really been doing much for the last 5 years until COVID came and Blair convinced me. So it was fantastic, yeah, just to be training away and getting your body back in shape, and sort of mentally it does help an awful lot as well when you're busy working. So from that side of things, huge recommendation for it.
Well, listen, congratulations. And the Just Giving campaign, I hope it raises an absolute fortune for you guys, because as you said, it's for an absolutely brilliant cause. So well done, David. Thanks a million for joining us this morning. Cheers.
Brilliant. Thank you.